So in this lecture, we're going to look at some more examples of integrating rational functions, some of which use the partial fractions technique and some of which don't, because there are other ways to approach these kinds of questions. Now, this one, I'm actually going to do using a trait substitution like we talked about in the previous section. And I really want you to kind of focus on this one because this is an integral that's going to come up frequently in other situations where we're doing these integrals using the partial fractions method. Right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the substitution x equals a tangent theta, which means dx equals a secant squared theta d theta. All right, so when I make that substitution, this integral becomes, this is the original, dx over x squared plus a squared. So if I do these substitutions, this becomes the integral of a secant squared theta d theta over a squared tangent squared theta plus a squared. Okay, so now we can get some factoring here, right? I'm going to take that a from the top, bring that out in front, and I'm going to take the a squared from the bottom and bring that out in front of the integral as well. So now we have secant squared theta d theta over, and this is going to be just tangent squared plus 1. Well, that's also secant squared. So this is kind of an interesting result here. Everything cancels, and all that's left is 1 over a times the integral of d theta. Okay. Well, the integral of d theta is just theta, so this is 1 over a times theta plus a constant. And if we jump back over here to our original substitution, tangent of theta is x over a, which means theta is the inverse tangent of x over a. So this becomes 1 over a times the inverse tangent of x over a plus constant. There you go. There's our result. Like I said, I want you to kind of file this one away, right? Because it's going to show up. It's going to show up again further along here when we're doing integrals of more complicated rational expressions that also have that x squared plus a constant factor in their denominators. Okay, so here I have another one that I'm actually not going to approach using integration by parts. And what kind of clues me in that that's not what I'm going to do here is that the degree of the numerator is greater than the degree of the denominator. Right? So when that happens, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use just do some long division here, right, to reduce this to some smaller terms. So I'm going to do x squared plus 3, and I'm going to divide that into x cubed plus x squared minus x minus 1. If we do the long division here, I'll start with an x. Then we're going to multiply. This becomes x cubed plus 3x. Then we subtract, just so when you're doing numeric long division, I'm going to subtract. These terms go away. And we get x squared minus 4x. And then I'm going to bring down the minus 1. So now I'll put, let's see, a 1 here. And if I multiply again, this is x squared plus 3. Just like before, we subtract. Those go away. This is minus 4x minus 4. And that's my remainder. Right? So this is plus minus 4x minus 4 over x squared plus 3. Right, so now that tells me how I'm gonna approach this integral. This is the original x cubed plus x squared minus x minus 1 over x squared plus 3 dx. And I'm going to take this expression here and replace the integrand with it. So this will become the integral of x plus 1. And I'm going to bring, well, do I want to bring up the, let's leave the minus 4 up there, plus, for now, minus 4x minus 4 over x squared plus 3 dx. Now, I'm going to split up that fraction. So I'm going to make this the integral of x plus 1 minus 4x over x squared plus 3 minus 4 times 1 over x squared plus 3 dx. Okay, so integrate each of the four terms here. The integral of x is x squared over 2 plus the integral of 1 is just x. And I'm going to hold on to this one for a minute. This is minus 4 times the integral of x dx over x squared plus 3. We'll do a substitution on that one, but that one's not too complicated. But I don't want to write it out, so I'll circle back to that one. Minus 4. Now this one, actually, let me just write it. Integral dx over x squared plus 3. Hopefully that's familiar to you. That looks just like the integral that we did on the last page. All right, so let's see. What do we get then? This is x squared over 2 plus x minus 4. Now for this one, I'm going to let u equal x squared plus 3. So du equals 2x dx. All right, so dx is du over 2x. So let's make that substitution. Then this is the integral of x over u times du over 2x minus 4. Now, like I said, this looks like the integral on the previous page, but what is a going to be? Remember, this term here is a squared. So a is going to be the square root of 3. So this integral then is 1 over the square root of 3 times the inverse tangent of x over the square root of 3. And I'm going to go ahead and put the constant here. I really should have put it on the previous page, on the previous line. So let's slip it up there as well. Okay, now the x's cancel. The 2 reduces with the 4. And this is x squared over 2 plus x minus 2 times the log of the absolute value of u minus 4. I'm going to rationalize the denominators here. 4 square root of 3 over 3 inverse tangent square root of 3x over 3 plus a constant. And we're almost there. We just have to get rid of that u. Right? I'm going to replace that u with x squared plus 3. And so there's a lot of rewriting here. X squared plus x minus the log x squared plus 3. X squared plus 3 is always positive. Yeah? So you don't really need the absolute value at that point. Minus 4 square roots of 3 over 3. Inverse tangent square root of 3 over 3x plus that constant. And there it is. There's my result. Really kind of a wild mess there. You got logarithms and inverse tangents and polynomials and all sorts of things flying around. But that is going to be the final result. Because now we've seen a few more examples here of methods for integrating rational expressions that don't rely on partial fractions. And I think this is maybe almost the most important lecture in this section, because it really emphasizes to you that, yes, when you see a rational expression, you should think partial fractions, because it is going to be a common tool. But there are other tools, right? So don't get yourself too focused on that one technique and forget that there are some other options available. So there's one more lecture in this series, and we are going to circle back and take a look at some partial fractions decomposition methods again that employ some of the stuff that we talked about here.